Okay, we're off on day 2 of our
Chickamauga
weekend adventure. We stayed at a Hampton Inn, and they usually have breakfast. They don't do it anymore. We got a bag of like a muffin and a granola bar. Well, what was it? Yeah, Nutri-Grain and sad looking orange. So we're on our way to find a Dunkin' Donuts right now. So that's our first stop. Then we're off to Chickamauga today. All right, we have made it to the Chickamauga and Chattanooga National Military Park. We're at the visitor center right now. Are they closed? Really? Well, that's not good. Well, the visitor center's closed. They're supposed to have a museum in here, but I guess we won't be doing that. Wow, I didn't know there were different kinds of cannons. That's how military illiterate I am. 6-pounder smoothbore gun. Okay, 12-pounder howitzer. 3-inch ordnance rifle. Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna have to come back at another time to go to the museum. That's a little disappointing, but oh well. 12-pounder rifle James. Ouch. 12-pounder Napoleon. $10-pounder Parrot. This right here, I have actually a handheld version of the same thing. So from what I can tell, it's like a driving tour. We're right now at the visitor center and everything's numbered. So we'll get to go to each one of those. You'll see this right here? And it's got everything and they're numbered. So we're like...
We're the visitor center.
Yeah, we're like right here. So... Number 1. All right, we made our first stop on the tour. Number 1 is Breckenridges Assault, right? You want to read it?
Confederates, commanded by former U.S. Vice President John C. Breckinridge, assaulted and briefly penetrated the Union line in this area before turning their attack southward.
They've got something that you can do with your phone here, too. You want to do it? No? What? I'm trying to go up the hill and I'm falling. If the print is in blue, it has something to do with Union, the Union. If it's in red, it's Confederate. So.
September 20th, 1863. In this field, just south of the McDonald farm, all is quiet. The men of John Beattys' brigade screen the left flank of the Union Army, their positions marked by a series of stone monuments around the present-day visitor center to the field across the street. The main Union line stretched from present-day Battle Line Road and Tour Stop 2, just east of here, all the way south of the present-day park boundaries. For 2 days now, the Union Army of the Cumberland, commanded by William Rosecrans, and the Confederate Army of Tennessee, commanded by Braxton Bragg, have slugged it out through the woods and fields along the banks of the Chickamauga Creek. Earlier that summer, the Union Army moved south from its positions around Murfreesboro, Tennessee, with its sights set on capturing Chattanooga. Chattanooga was the gateway to the Confederacy, situated at an intersection of river and rail, and it guarded one of the few gaps in the Cumberland Plateau. If the Union Army captured Chattanooga, then the road to Atlanta in the Confederate heartland would be wide open. September 19th, both armies funneled more and more troops into the battlefield. Beginning at Jay's Mill, east of here, armies collided haphazardly into each other in a bloody chaos that one Union officer later described as bushwhacking on a grand scale.
This monument has been erected in memory of the soldiers of the state of Florida who took part in the battle fought here September 19th, 20th, 1963.
Not 19.
Whether they fell in battle or lived to render further services to their state and country. So this is the Florida Monument. Yeah, it's weird because they don't talk about Florida being
No, they don't. These battles took place on September 19th and 20th, and I was just thinking about how hot it would be out here. But then I was reading this. It's interesting. It says soldiers battled fatigue, thirst, and cold. Now, this morning was slightly chilly, but then when we come down here to the bottom, it was saying, you know, that because they were so near the enemy, they had no fires, so they couldn't keep warm that way. But down here, we had a slight frost. We lay on our arms without blankets or even coats, having thrown away everything but gun and ammunition.
From the east, the Confederates assaulted the Union forces. Farmers, including the Kelly family, allowed their livestock to freely forage, which cleaned out much of the forest understory. Additionally, a large cedar blade stretched to the east, giving Union artillerists a deadly field of fire. General Helm was mortally wounded. Helm's death was felt all the way to Washington, D.C., where his brother-in-law, President Abraham Lincoln, greatly mourned him. Even though the two were on opposing sides, they remained close, and the president took Helm's death extremely hard.
We were about to turn around, and we saw these. Kentucky, Indiana, Indiana 29th Regiment Infantry. Okay, more Indiana 30th Regiment, Wisconsin, and right here is the Acorn Monument. Yeah, well, remember what they were explaining. Yep, there's another one. Indiana. A lot of Indiana. Wisconsin. Pennsylvania. A large one in Wisconsin. Ohio. More cannons. What is that one? Ohio. Our next stop is the Alabama Monument. The grass is so wet. I thought that was a bird's nest. I'm not on the pathway. That's why the grass is so high. My feet are wet. In tender memory of Alabama soldiers who fought and fell on Chickamauga battlefield, this shaft shall point to those exciting scenes and visions long since flown, for memory is the only friend that grief can call its own. Wow. I'm not sure I would call them exciting scenes, but anyway. There is supposed to be a bunch of placards somewhere with all of the divisions or regiments or whatever they're called. I saw it on the app. One of them is the 28th, which is the one that My ancestor Jesse Rubin Lassiter was supposed to have fought in and apparently lost his life. Like I had said before, I keep reading on Ancestry.com how he was never heard from again. His widow filed for pension because he was never heard from again. This side says, "Here we rest." Look how high the grass is. I really don't want to walk through it. Maybe I can zoom in to where I can read that at a later time. I can tell it says Eufaula, Alabama Artillery. Wow, this camera's good. I can't read it all, but that's what that says. The one thing that I do know was that my third great grandfather was in the 28th Infantry, Alabama Infantry, and there is a placard somewhere, and we're starting here. There are some Alabama ones right here, so we're going to move on down and see what we can find. According to the thing on the app, it said September 20th. And according to everything on Ancestry, it says he died the 19th. But if this is the case, he actually probably did not fight until the 20th. So the 20th would have been when he died. It said 50 feet off of the road, so it's probably one of those out there. You didn't find it yet? Is it that one? Is there a place to park out there? But all of these, well, this is Mississippi. All right, we decided to walk over to this. And it is a lot bigger than you can tell from a distance. I mean, there's Kurt. You can tell how big that whole thing is just with him standing there. Okay, so for all of you people that have ancestors from Georgia, this says, "To the lasting memory of all her sons who fought on this field, those who fought and lived, and those who fought and died, those who gave much and those who gave all, Georgia erects this monument."
Artillery's over here and cavalry's over here. I mean, there was a ton of people.
Goodness, look at all this. Wow. Of course, we are in Georgia, so it's to be expected that you're going to have the largest monument dedicated to Georgia. I got ready to pull my hair back, and the only hair tie I had broke, so I guess I'm going to suffer through. Man, this thing is so tall. One of the things that bugs me more than anything, look at this. I'm so ready for this corona mess to be done. Searching and searching, I'm hopeful. Okay, let's see if this is it. Is this really it? Hallelujah. Oh my gosh. Showed it on GPS way back there. Okay. He was in the 28th Alabama. The brigade advanced at 11:20 a.m. and according to this, it's September 20th, not the 19th. When I keep finding things, it keeps showing up as the 19th. But if this is the case, then he probably would have died on the 20th and not the 19th.
Maybe he fell when he was going to the tree.
Maybe. Let's see. The brigade advanced at 11:20 a.m. It centered across the road at this point and directed its march toward the Widow Glens. Upon nearing that point, its left, the 24th, 28th, and 34th Alabama was charged by Wilder's brigade, dismounted, assisted, this is hard to read, by the 29th Indiana. Colonel Harrison also dismounted and forced back east of the Lafayette Road. Subsequently, this portion of the brigade rejoined the 10th and 19th South Carolina, and the whole proceeded to the vicinity of the Beattys house, where it formed on the left of Bushrod R. Johnston's division, and took part in the afternoon in the assault of Snodgrass Hill.
There's a monument back there.
I can't believe that it took us this long, but we finally found it.
But this is what it's overlooking. I guess that's where the battle was. Crazy.
No, it says that they met up. They advanced and rejoined the 10th and 9th South Carolina, and then they proceeded to the vicinity of the Beattys house, whatever that is, where it formed on the left, and took part in the afternoon in the assault of Snodgrass Hill.
I don't think I want to die on Snodgrass Hill.
No.
Okay, well, you found it. Congratulations.
Finally. I said I didn't want to go home and not see it. Okay, we're back in the car. All right, right past that road, if anybody else is looking for it, it's right there. Right there.
It's not where it's supposed to be.
No, according to GPS,
wow, look at that field.
Farther back.
There's another monument out there.
Man, way out there.
Why don't you walk out there and see what that one is?
Why don't you, and I'll video you.
I'll wait right here.
And of course, there are monuments everywhere. I don't have my seatbelt on.
That's what
everybody's hearing. Those are blue, so that means that there was something important that happened to the Union. Is it?
Haig.
No, turn it over and read it. Somehow we missed 4.
Is
This is 5.
Vineyard Field. Step back one day to September 19th. Thousands of soldiers, one division at a time, fought back and forth across this field, trying to gain control of Lafayette Road. When sunset came, neither side held the road, yet thousands had paid the ultimate sacrifice.
So Lafayette Road, and you can tell now, it's still a main thoroughfare. And like I said, I don't want to diminish anything, but the main reason I'm here was what we just found. And I'm thankful that I found it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
And actually, to see where this man walked across. I mean, he walked across where we were standing on September 20th, 1863. And then apparently died that afternoon. Or possibly, there's a possibility that he was wounded and died somewhere else. It's just that he never showed up back home. So, my 3rd great-grandmother was widowed because of something that happened here. Is that again?
The Vineyard house site was right here.
Okay. And there are a lot of blue placards back there. So, something important with the Union Army happened right here. I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, people had homes here. I mean, they're converging here on people's land and stuff. So, and there are people on bikes everywhere.
Wow, look at that. Looks like a
Oh,
chest.
yeah, and this, you can climb up to the top.
Yeah, you can do that.
I was going to say, if you want to do this. This is the Wilder Monument, and what I was reading is that you can actually walk up to the top of it, and you can see, I mean, what they say is you can basically see the whole battlefield.
Oh.
Yeah. Talking to Paula on the phone, she's wondering what we're doing. I'm videoing. Have this huge monument here called the Wilder Monument that you can climb to the top of it and look over the whole battlefield. It would have been really cool if you would have been able to come. Paula had to do a project about this battle, in 5th grade. And she had to do, I think, what was it, a diorama or something? And I said it would have been... Yeah, she had little men and she had all sorts of things laid out, and she had to do a paper, write about it. So it would have been really cool if she would have been able to come then to see it. She probably would have forgotten it now, but anyway.
It was in 5th grade. I don't think I would forget it.
All right, here's the next stop. Look at this wide open area.
No, this isn't
here.
a stop. This is just recreation.
I know,
field.
but look at it. Wide open there. So this is stop number 7. Route of the Union right?
That's what it says.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, I can tell you.
Okay, are we getting out?
What do you call it? Number?
September 20th, Union Brigadier General William Haynes Lytle's brigade marched north from the Widow Glen's house, near the Wilder Brigade Monument at tour stop number 6, and began occupying a position on this ridge across from you in an attempt to support crumbling Union troops in their front. Confederate troops from General Zachariah C. Days's brigade burst through the woods to the south. Caught in the chaos of this fight here around the Dyer family's farm were a number of African Americans. In the Confederate ranks, enslaved men were often forced to accompany their enslavers into the army to serve as body servants. These men would be tasked with carrying their enslaver's belongings, doing his laundry, and preparing meals. During battle, these enslaved men often found themselves near the front, as they would be used as litter bearers to evacuate the wounded. Most famous of these body servants at Chickamauga was Silas Chandler, who followed the 44th Mississippi Infantry into the fight across this field just to the north of where you are standing. After his enslaver was critically wounded, Silas carried him to the hospital and eventually back home to Mississippi. African Americans could also be found with the Union Army as well. This field later became the focal point of military operations on the Chickamauga battlefield. In 1865, this was the campground of a regiment of United States colored troops, who were tasked with sweeping the battlefield to recover remains for reinterment at Chattanooga National Cemetery. During the Spanish-American War and World War I, this field was covered with the tents and barracks of soldiers training to fight overseas. During the Spanish-American War, this area was called Camp Thomas, named after Union General George Thomas, who achieved fame for his heroic stand at Snodgrass Hill, the scene of your final tour stop.
All right, this is our last stop.
Well, this is
Stop number 8. That's what she said it was the last stop on the tour thingy.
Union soldiers held the ridge through the afternoon, repulsing repeated Confederate assaults. As darkness fell, one final assault revealed the remaining Union troops had slipped away to Chattanooga. After 3 days of fighting, the Confederate Army of Tennessee was victorious.
But I guess you can look at it this way. At least he had children before he died, because I wouldn't be here if that were the case. Were not the case. So what is this house?
Oh. Field hospital.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is where they sawed and
Woo!
cycled.
The Snodgrass cabin served as a field hospital. Oh boy. It says it was some of the war's bloodiest fighting happening right out here. Amputation was the standard treatment for arms or legs smashed by bullets or shells. Anesthetics such as chloroform and ether were in use during this period, but were in short supply. Okay, here we go. Casualties. Listen to this, Kurt. We were asking this question. Union, 58,000 engaged, because we were wondering how many. Killed, wounded, and missing a total of 16,179. Confederate, 66,000 engaged. Killed, wounded, missing, 20,950. Wow. Okay, this is the inside. I'm assuming, of course, that this is a recreation. There's a ghost in there. We were just talking about ghosts. Like I said, I don't believe in ghosts, but this would be the place that one should reveal himself. I've seen no ghosts. I'm still waiting. I need to be convinced that ghosts exist because I don't believe it. How about you?
I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, okay. So this is Snodgrass Hill, right? Is that what this is?
Yep. What's that?
This is the Snodgrass House. It served as a field hospital. And on video, it is very hard to tell how big. You can't tell the scope of this, really.
What that be?
So I guess this is the reason this is the last on the tour, because this is really the last battle that happened at, they said, nightfall. And then whoever was left of the Union retreated back into Chattanooga.
Well, that placard said that this is the battle that your great-grandfather...
Right, that's what I was thinking. So there's a possibility. Not great-grandfather. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. My third great-grandfather.
He might be out here.
Yeah, he could be. I keep waiting. I'm waiting to see his ghost. Come on, talk to me. Nobody, nothing. There's a butterfly. Could that be him?
Listening.
Maybe. I just don't believe in ghosts, but I keep waiting to be proven wrong.
You don't listen to me.
I listen to you because you're a real and a human being, not a ghost. Have you enjoyed it?
Bunch of monuments up here. Yeah, I think we had a good time. We
Yeah.
found what you wanted to find.
Yeah, it took forever, but we did find it.
It was not marked correctly.
No. Well, it was marked correctly, but on GPS it was wrong. But perseverance, and we found it. So we'll see you guys later.
Bye.